What's going on, guys? I'm Bert, and YouTube has absolutely changed my life, and I'm gonna be telling you how it really changed my life, even though my subscribers are well under 1,000. They're well under 500. Right now, as of recording this, I have like 378 subscribers or something like that. It's incredible how much your life can change by doing YouTube, especially even with such a small following. And I'm gonna kind of break all that stuff down for you guys, tell you all the great things that have kind of come from it and the positive ways it's really improved my life. And I'm gonna be also talking about the negatives and bad impacts that YouTube has also had on me. So let's get started. So I've been doing YouTube for pretty much 2 years now. To touch a little bit on why I started YouTube, really the main reason was I wanted to be around things that I enjoy, which for me happens to be cars. So behind me you have my 2016 BMW M2, which is currently what the majority of my channel is about. And ultimately the channel is about my pursuit of that Ferrari ownership dream as, you know, a car guy. I figured YouTube is a phenomenal way to kind of go about it because I get to be around the things I enjoy while creating something, you know, whether it's entertainment, whether it's, you know, something of value like a tutorial or just my thoughts. And it was a interesting and cool way to do that. And I guess the first thing I'll touch on in terms of how it really changed my life is it gives me something to pursue. It gives me a goal to strive for. One of the great things about YouTube is it's very numbers driven. You know exactly how many subscribers you have. You have analytics that tell you your views, your retention rates, all of these different things. And there's like a specific metric that kind of tracks how you're doing. So like right now, I'm really pursuing that goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can really monetize the channel and start making money off this channel. And after that, I'm gonna pursue, 5,000, 10,000, ultimately 100,000 subscribers. And it's just been so phenomenal to have a goal where you have like tangible results in front of you. They may not always be the results you want, and sometimes your videos may just be absolute garbage and just do horribly, but at least YouTube will tell you that, say, hey, this video sucked. You could do better than this one. And that's one of the great things about YouTube is it gave me smaller goals to pursue that ultimately pushed me in the right direction. That's phenomenal because a lot of times in life, if you're chasing a goal, you don't really have a tangible way to measure if you're getting there. You have no idea sometimes. One of the other things that I'm trying to pursue outside of here is ultimately I want to look phenomenal. I want to be pretty much ripped and buff. For any of you gym rats out there, it's not an easy process, and there's very few tangible ways that you can really measure how you're doing. You can measure your weight, you can measure circumference of certain muscles and stuff like that, but there's really not many ways you can tell, okay, I'm heading in the right direction. Whereas with YouTube, there kind of is, and it gave me a really good way to pursue goals, and I can actually follow up and see how I'm doing in pursuing them. And then just even on a broader scale, it is still a goal that I set for myself, and I gave myself something to pursue. Whereas before, I was just kind of meandering about with no real goal set in my mind. Like I have an idea of what I want in my life and the things I want to achieve, but no real like definitive goal. Like, okay, we can pursue this and then this and then this. It's a lot more structured in a way, and I think that's really changed my life in a positive way. And with that all too, a routine. And what I mean by that is like every single week I try to put out a video, and sometimes I genuinely may not have enough time to make a video, and sometimes I may have extra time to pump out 2 videos. Overall, I try to stick to about a video a week, and while it can be very challenging sometimes, it changes you in such a positive way because it forces you to go and record a video. There are so many days where I just don't want to record a video. I just want to sit on my ass at home and just say, oh, not today, I'll do it tomorrow. Just next week, we'll go without a video this week. All right, well, that sucks, but you gotta go record a video. Like, you could be sad, you can be bored, you can be depressed. None of that matters because there are things to do. There is stuff to be done. And I think in a very, very positive way, YouTube has really impacted me because now I kind of have to force myself every single week, whether I want to or not, to go and make some kind of content. And even if I may not put out a video necessarily every single week, I still maybe do some prep work or a little bit of research or something that ultimately points in the direction of YouTube. And then that same idea of the routine and just saying, I don't care how sad I am, I don't care how miserable I may be today, I have to go record a video. That same mentality is translated to other parts of my life now, and the gym is a great example of that. It doesn't matter how sad I'm feeling, it doesn't matter how tired I am, like, alright, you wake up at this time on your day off, you go to the gym. End of story. Nothing else matters. A week or two ago, there was like a Wednesday I woke up in the morning and I just did not want to go to the gym at all. Like, I was just so down that day, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter how down you are. Just get in your damn car and go to the gym. And I did, and I went to the gym. And then you know what I did after I went to the gym? I went and recorded a video. It forces you in other aspects of your life to just go and do things. Go be productive. I think that's one of the best ways that YouTube has changed my life, is it forces you to have somewhat of a routine. And what's really great about that is that doesn't matter if I have 1,000 subscribers, 500 subscribers, 300 subscribers. Those numbers don't matter. It changed my mindset, it changed my life, and it's just been such a positive effect. I have no regrets with that. That alone just makes it absolutely worth it. Now, another really cool way that it's changed my life is it's changed my life in a future point in time that hasn't come yet. And what I mean by that is there are some videos that I make that encapsulate certain memories. A phenomenal example is my trip to Montreal this past June. I went with my girlfriend to watch the Formula One Grand Prix. I had a couple videos on that. One of them was my 1,000-mile road trip, pretty much up and down. And the other video is pretty much my time there at the Grand Prix over the course of 3 days. And the memories are so vivid and insane, like from raining to hailing in the middle of June. It was just such an experience. And this kind of goes against what a lot of people say. Now, a lot of people give you the advice to live in the moment and put down the camera. I'm gonna kind of play on the other side here and say, I think having a camera and recording those moments and putting them on my channel has been phenomenal for future me, because one day I'll be able to go back, watch that video, and say, yeah, I remember this, I remember this. I feel like that's gonna be such a phenomenal and incredible thing in the future. I think in a way YouTube changes your life in that a lot of your life becomes cataloged, or I don't know if catalog is the right word, but it's logged. Like, you can go back at any point in time and rewatch that event, rewatch those days, that race, that experience. And I think that's such a great thing, because a lot of times we'll take some pictures of events, or maybe we'll take a quick like Snapchat video, maybe save it. It's like a 60-second thing. But this is different. It's a full video. It's, you know, it's got music that kind of plays to the mood. It tells a bigger story, it's longer, and it's just a beautiful thing to be able to develop your skills in editing and storytelling to the point where you can create these videos, one day look back on them and say, wow, I remember that event, that was so fun, even though it hailed on a Friday while the grandstands were being evacuated during a lightning storm. It was such a crazy event, and looking back is just so awesome that I can pretty much watch the event as if it was yesterday. I'm sure there'll be many, many more moments in my life that I'm gonna catalog and pretty much savor as a memory that I can look back on in its, for the most part, fullness. Like one day when I buy, my first Ferrari, I'm gonna record that whole event, and I'm gonna look back on it one day and say, yeah, I remember taking delivery of that car. You can see the expression on my face, you see the whole thing, the first drive, everything. And I think now is time to talk about how YouTube has changed my life for the worst. It becomes very easy to fall into the trap of just looking at your numbers. Just look at how many views you got, how many likes you're getting. You can very quickly lose track of why you started YouTube in the first place. And while yes, ultimately monetization and doing this as a side hobby and possibly a career one day is part of the plan, you become a bit too fixated on it. I don't know how well you can see on the camera there, but this is the YouTube Studio app. This app pretty much is your home base for all your analytics and everything YouTube-wise as a creator. I find myself looking at this non-stop throughout the day. It's almost like an addiction. And I think that's probably the worst ways that YouTube has impacted me is my numbers have just become such a focus for me. And especially now, I think this impact is a lot harder on YouTubers as they're starting out. When you're starting out as a YouTuber, your main goal usually is monetization. So to get monetized on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and in one rolling year average, you have to have 4,000 watch hours. It's a rush at the start of YouTube, and I think that's a very negative way that it's impacted me. Is I'm almost in like I don't want to say a panic state, but I'm at that point where my YouTube views on the back end are on kind of the rise. So as those views are going up, well, now because it's been a year, those views are about to start dropping off, and I'm gonna lose a lot of watch hours. So it's like I'm in this negative rush with myself, and I'm just like pumping out as much as I can to try to rush that, and you'll start to rush things that you shouldn't be rushing, and you'll start making mistakes. I think it's very easy to have that mentality from YouTube translate to other parts of your life where you're rushing things so much that you're screwing up your own future. And where YouTube is kind of impacting me in that sense is that I'm like at this point trying to rush to get to that 1,000 subscribers and just get it done and checked off. I'm more likely to make mistakes. I'm more likely to put out garbage content. I think in that sense, YouTube has kind of changed my life for a bad turn in that I'm so fixated on hitting this goal that I'm starting to rush and try to take shortcuts to get there. And I don't want to do that, ultimately. I think once I get that 1,000 subscribers, I think I'll calm down a bit. Definitely, I think I'll calm down a bit. It's just because you don't want to lose ground on the back end. You're just trying to run as hard as you can on the front end. And while that can be a good thing, I think it's a very good point to touch on that it can be very negative and it can impact your life in a very negative way. So if any of you guys are doing YouTube out there, just be mindful of that. Be careful if you're chasing the numbers. All right, don't let the numbers consume you because they will very, very quickly do that. And one really last thing that I'll touch on with how YouTube changed my life, even with the amount of subscribers I have, and especially with the amount of subscribers I have, is I've dedicated so much time and effort into YouTube, from learning how to record videos to editing and just all these little things that you have to learn along the way. I don't want it to fail. I cannot fail. I have to keep going. I have to keep pushing forwards. And I think that's a phenomenal thing. But on the flip side, if it never does take off, if the YouTube does fail, and ultimately if this does go nowhere, yes, I'll still have a lot of the benefits of looking back on my memories and all the content's still going to be there. So I think from that perspective, it's still a great thing, but I don't want it to feel like I've wasted time. I've put in so far pretty much, let's say, 2 years into YouTube, and while I'm really privileged to have 4 days off from work where I could dedicate a lot of time to YouTube, it sometimes feels like, all right, well, you have all these days off and you're putting it towards YouTube where you may not succeed, you may fail. And I don't want to look back and say, damn, I should have spent that time enjoying life. I should have spent that time doing this or doing this instead. And that's the thing, regret. You know, I don't want to have regret on either end. You know, on the one hand, if I leave YouTube, I'll have the regret that I didn't keep pushing and maybe succeed. I have some idol YouTubers that I really look up to, and some of which were really the reasons why I wanted to get into YouTube. If I stop, I'll never reach their level. I'll never try to surpass their level. I'll never get to that point. But on the flip side, if I do keep doing YouTube and I never do reach that level or anywhere remotely close, then at that point I'll have the regret of, well, maybe I should have spent the time on something else, developing a different skill set, working on another hobby or another passion, or just enjoying the life and smoking a cigar every day. There's always going to be some regret on both sides, you know, whether I pursue YouTube or drop YouTube. There's going to be some regret somewhere. I think ultimately it comes down to making that choice. And right now, I'm making the choice to continue with YouTube. Is it the right choice? I don't know. We'll find out. YouTube will definitely in the future change my life 1,000,000%. Whether it's for the better or for the worst, we'll see in the future, guys. But either way, at this point, YouTube has just 1,000% changed my life, even with the amount of subscribers that I have. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how YouTube changes my life going forward. Whether it's positive or negative, I'm still making the choice to at least do something, to pursue something. Hopefully it takes me where I want to go. I hope this resonates with some of you guys that may be interested in starting YouTube, or that are YouTubers yourself. Maybe it'll help you reflect on your journey through YouTube. And if you like the video, leave me a like. It's definitely going to be appreciated. Leave me a comment, tell me your story, whether you're doing YouTube, you want to do YouTube, whatever the case is, tell me your story. Even if it's not YouTube related, just tell me a similar story. And lastly, if you want to follow my journey, my Ferrari ownership journey and dream and whatever else this YouTube evolves into, if you want to follow for me, definitely subscribe. It would be so appreciated, especially as I mentioned, as I'm pursuing that 1,000 subscriber goal. It'll mean the world to me. And that's going to be all for this one, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time.